What's up, Rams, and welcome back to Cam's Corner. I'm your host, as always, Cameron Evig. Now, this week, my boss told me that I had to talk about CSU football some more and feature their game against Hawaii. So I guess we'll preview that game against the Rainbow Warriors. Plus, the entirety of CSU basketball is off to a hot start, and the women play tonight right down the road in Denver. We'll check in on them and also pivot to take a look at what the men have to do to keep their record perfect at the Paradise Jam tournament down in the Virgin Islands starting tomorrow. All that and more on Cam's Corner, starting right now. There's been so much positivity over the last couple weeks with other Rams squads that I've been ignoring football too well. Avoid being depressed, and not to mention that talking about CSU's winning teams for once is what actually is good for me. But unfortunately, I was informed that in my job description, it says I have to cover football, even if it makes me sad. So let's get into it. The Rams already landed over 3,000 miles away in Hawaii to take on the 4-win Rainbow Warriors in the second to last game of the season. Coming off over a month of L's, the Rams look to end their season on a high note, and even with their terrible record, they, for once, have a good shot to do so in Aloha Stadium. In the last two games against the Pokes and the Falcons, CSU has given up a combined 773 rushing yards. 773! Even I could have ran through some of the gaps that Wyoming and Air Force's O-line created. That might be a little bit of exaggeration. Scott Patchen would decapitate me. But we need at least some ability to stop the run if we're going to win these last two games. Luckily for the Rams, Hawaii is also coming off a hefty losing streak of their own at 3 games, and they haven't shown really any signs of being good recently. I mean, now I get they're playing a bit better, but last week, bottom of the barrel UNLV ran all over the Rainbow Warriors with their starting running back Charles Williams, going for 266 yards and 3 tutties. And that was only UNLV's second win of the year. It looks like their defense against the ground is a lot like Colorado State's, so we'll have to see who gives it in this one. Which unit can keep the other team for rushing under 200 yards? Yeah, that's how low the bar is. 200 yards. And moving on. Oh, I can talk about our good sports teams now? Great. And now that that's over with, let's get into some teams that still have some potential this season. Starting with the women's squads that are both playing right now. Rams Volleyball is playing Utah State all the way up in Logan right now to decide the Mountain West regular season title. The set score is currently 0-0 with the game just getting started. And with that, let's get an update on women's hoops. Coach Ryan Williams and crew are in Denver right now playing DU to look to improve to 4-0 in their toughest test of the year. Right now, that score is also currently 0-0 with tip-off happening just a couple minutes ago. Let's hope for a good end of the night for both squads, especially volleyball. Winning that regular season title is so crucial towards trying to make it to an NCAA tournament. And now, on to men's hoops. David Roddy, Isaiah Stevens, and the rest of the squad must be having a great time right now because they're in the beautiful and, more importantly, warm Virgin Islands, where they're set to face off in the Paradise Jam tournament this weekend and keep that perfect record intact. Like Brandon told you on Tuesday, CSU is a matchup on tap with Bradley in the opening round of the tournament, but barring a major upset from the Braves, this should be a warm-up for the real competition for the green and gold. And taking a closer look at this squad for a sec, Bradley is 1-2 on the season, with their only win coming against D2 Missouri S&T. And they were blown out by Howard, as well as South Dakota State. Needless to say, Coach Medved's guys should handle this team easily. After that is where they might get some real resistance when they play either Creighton or Brown. The Blue Jays come in out of the Big East with a 3-0 record, and their last win coming over in-state rival Nebraska. And on the other hand, Brown out of the Ivy League comes in at 3-1, with their only loss coming from a close point L at number 17 North Carolina, in what was their first D1 game in close to 2 years. But overall, the real story here is that the hated Buffaloes are on the other side of that bracket. CU and CSU both have a shot to get all the way to the championship. With how solid both of the squads are looking this year, CSU looks better. A basketball Rocky Mountain showdown is all that means, and it's going to happen all the way in the tropics. But honestly, I'm more scared of Creighton than I am of the Buffs. This is definitely going to be a tournament that the Rams can win, and doing so can finally get them the recognition and resume boosts that they so heavily deserve. Not to mention those bragging rights over CU. Let's hope they can prove all the doubters wrong in this tournament this weekend. And now that we're done with that, to cap off this wonderful segment, it's time for the Ram of the Week, which goes to women hooper Carly Murphy. The forward from Wisconsin had herself a night against Oral Roberts on Monday, going for 18 points and 13 boards to carry the Rams to a win at Moby Arena. Time and time again, Carly has proven she's going to be a huge part of this squad, alongside McKenna Hofschild, scoring team highs in the last 2 games. I know she'll keep this up. And well, Rams, that's all I got for you tonight. Hey, be sure to stick around with Big Tom Isaacson, and he'll give you all your entertainment news. Also, stick with me, because we'll be right back after the semester break for all your sports news to close the season out. See you later, Rams.